We contracted with the same folks who did the Philadelphia study, eConsult Solutions in Philadelphia, to analyze the raw data that our members provided over the last 25 years. And we were pretty stunned with the results. I was expecting a small-ish sort of number, but when they came back with over $12 billion, that's billion with a B, in economic impact of over 25 years of all of our nonprofit developers. We like to think of it really as bringing in $500 million a year from a really small group of organizations. In that time, the report found that community developers created 82,000 jobs through investment and real estate rehab. Those CDCs contributed $5.5 billion in worker wages and contracts with our state's businesses. They built and rehabbed over 21,000 affordable homes, and they built over 2.5 million square feet of commercial space for new and expanding small businesses, something we know is the backbone of our economy. Through all of that, they added about $320 million to the state's tax rolls. And as I said before, it wasn't enough for us to just have this beautiful report and this incredible data. At the state level, our members, investors, and decision makers really wanted to know, what have we done in our community, and can you tell us that tomorrow? So with Helen's support and the support of the City Foundation, we were able to go back to eConsult and have them run the data and break this out into county areas across the state. I'm really pleased to be here today to say that Hudson and Bergen counties worked closely together, and we were thrilled to find that you had produced about 10% of the total economic impact between the two counties. More than $1.1 billion came from those two counties in this room today. Hudson County generated about $891 million in economic activity, and since 1989, those groups completed 82 development projects, you heard John talk about some of them, supported nearly 6,000 jobs during that time, and generated $415 million in labor income. All told, those numbers added together, and I did need my fingers for this one, was about $1.1 billion, which is a pretty substantial number, and of one you should all be very proud of. So this was all done, it's important to remember, by community developers who are nonprofit and rely on an array of creative investments and financing strategies from public entities, which we've talked about dropping away a little bit, and we need to see more of that public sector investment, and private partners. We are very grateful for our private partners and the decision makers who've worked with us and our members to make sure the resources and the policy environment exist to do this work. Community developers don't just build homes or create businesses, they really change the neighborhoods that they work in and make lasting improvements in the lives of the people they serve. At the network, we're proud to work with our members, and we'll continue to educate and advocate, provide training, and promote innovation at the state, county, and federal level so that our members can build healthy, safe communities that are affordable for everyone in Hudson and Bergen County to call home.
In the previous 8 years, the city approved and constructed 712 units of affordable housing. In the last 2 years, we're at 643 as of today, and you could see the trend is that we will go through significantly the numbers that were previously achieved in 4 times the time frame. We're proud of that, but there's still a lot of work to do. There have been a couple of significant policy changes that I think are significant to highlight. You know, the councilman touched on the Affordable Housing Trust Fund, which is a huge tool. But if it's not used properly, there are a lot of difficulties with it as well. So what happened previously is that a tax abatement or incentive was approved on the waterfront. The developer would pay into the Affordable Housing Trust Fund, and then that would go to another developer who was incentivized to build the Affordable Housing Trust Fund, but they would generally find the cheapest location to construct that. And ultimately, what that did was further exacerbate a problem where you have communities that are economically challenged building on top of communities that are economically challenged, and then communities that are wealthier building on top of communities that are wealthier. And so we've worked to change that in a couple different ways. First, we changed the way that you apply for our Affordable Housing Trust Fund. It's no longer a rolling application process. There are finite dates that align with the state. The reason we did that was because we thought it was important that the executive director and the committee that approves those has the ability to look at every project, comparing it to the other projects, ranking them and scoring them where the optimal use of our money will be in what areas of the city. So we obviously weight areas of the city where we need affordable housing more than other areas. So if you're applying to build affordable housing areas in areas that haven't had it before, we weight that more significantly. We're able to better utilize our dollars. I'll highlight our emphasis on veteran housing. When you look at that issue from a national standpoint, it is a solvable issue. When you look at the point in time for Hudson County and Jersey City, which is an inaccurate metric, but it's sometimes the best that we have to go on, the affordable housing or the homeless veteran issue is 100% a solvable issue. At the time of the last count, we were, I believe, at 38 or 40 homeless veterans in Jersey City. If that is not something that we could collectively in this room accomplish and solve, then we are absolutely failing at our mission, because it's not a huge number. And so we've set on our way to build veteran, homeless, and affordable housing. We have a project of 22 veteran preferential units under construction now. We have the one that Bill touched on earlier that broke ground 2 weeks ago. So we're making headway on that front as well. I would say the other significant component that has changed is how we've used some of those tax abatement tools to incentivize affordable housing in areas that weren't there previously. So what we have done for the first time in decades is incentivize the development community to build affordable housing inside some of the buildings on the waterfront. And the reason that we've done that is that there's a fundamental belief that we have that every single person in the city should have an opportunity to live in every neighborhood in the city. And there shouldn't be neighborhoods that exclude people from living in there. And so what you've seen is two major projects directly on the waterfront that were approved in the last 3 months by the City Council and the administration that will construct collectively 160 affordable units within those buildings of market rate housing. And that's just kind of the first step in moving in a significant direction. So, we're proud of the work we're doing. We have a lot more work to do as we're a growing city, but we've made an emphasis of affordable housing that we think is being recognized far beyond the Jersey City borders. And so today, to have the formal kickoff and, of course, the study and the reports and the information and the partners in this room, we think that the future is bright. And we just want to say thank you for all that you guys do, because we couldn't do it without you. We really appreciate it. Thank you.